Hey Tim, hey everyone else, welcome back to For Running Shoes. Today I want to talk about recovery, but before I get to recovery from long runs and how I'm really making that work for me, Tim, congratulations on your recent half marathon race in the Ballarat Marathon Festival. I'm not going to talk about it anymore today. I don't want to spoil anything, but congratulations on a fantastic effort. Great season leading up to it and great race itself. I was a bit sorry I couldn't be there, but you did a great job and I can't wait to see your race report on Thursday this week. Make sure you check Tim's video out when it comes out because I think it's going to be a good one. So recovery. I've been running marathons for not actually that long. I've been training for them for much longer though. Like I only ended up running my first marathon about a year ago now, and I did a second one last year as well. Then I've got one coming up in a fortnight, and I was hoping to run one much earlier, but I kept running into injury, and I'm a fairly injury averse person. I don't like running with injury, and when your legs don't work as they should, it is difficult to run marathons. Running comes with its share of injuries. Like sometimes it just happens. Like it's a fairly high impact thing, especially distance running, but there are things that we can do to prevent them. And one of the big things that I was finding was recovery after a long run or a hard run really goes a long way to preventing injury. So recovery is something that I've been thinking a lot about this season and also on my last marathon training season. And as a result, I'm going into race day in really good form. Like my legs are probably the best they've been before a marathon. I'm a little less fit than my last one, but my legs are just great. Like I've got no injury to speak of at all, except for maybe some runner's toenail, but I don't even really count that as injury. That's fine. So what do I do and what can you do to improve your chance of good recovery to get ready for your next run? So I think part of this actually starts well before the race. So like when preparing for a long run, these days, you know, when I'm going, 30 kilometers or more, like I really need to start carb loading 2 days before. This week previously, I went for a long run on Thursday. I had a 30-kilometer long run. It was a really good run, but I started my preparation on Tuesday. And I don't really do any maths about this. I try to get as many carbs as I can in, so I kind of have an extra 2 or 3 meals during the day. And I keep it really simple. My go-to carb loading meal at the moment is Wheat Bix and honey. It's doing the job for me, and it's pretty light. Like I can have it in the morning before I go for a long run, and I can eat them before going to bed fairly comfortably as well. So that's been my go-to. So I'll start 2 days before the long run, really start loading because the fueling is really important. I've been noticing that I've been getting quite crampy partway through long runs as well. So I'm having a few sodium tablets before I go out on the trail as well. And I probably need to start running with them in the pouch and take them every hour or so to help ward off any cramps, but that's something I'm doing. Then making sure that I'm well hydrated before going out on the run, making sure I've got all my gels. I've been running with Winners gels. I was going to change my fueling strategy because I've found the last 2 races that I run with them, they've not sat very well, but I haven't changed my strategy, so I'm still going with them. So I'll take one of those every 45 minutes during training, and that's working well for me. The 30-kilometer run I did this week was, really good, really happy with the run. I was testing out my pace a little bit. I've been umming and ahhing about my race time. I was hoping to get a sub 4-hour marathon, but my head's not really been in the season. I found it really tricky, but I decided to push it, and I ended up doing the 30 kilometers in 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is well ahead of the 4-hour pace that I would need. Obviously, there's another 12 kilometers I need to add on to that, but I was pretty happy with that. Then when getting home, that's when the recovery starts to get into full swing. I get home, I might stretch a little bit if things are really tight. I don't do a lot of stretching. Generally, I don't do much stretching at all, only when something feeling like it is a bit crampy. The first kind of hour and a half, 2 hours is where a lot of the recovery is fairly key. There's kind of 3 things that I want to focus on. There's hydration, nutrition, and compression. Hydration, obviously, I'm drinking a lot of water. Long runs, that's electrolytes. I've had electrolytes throughout my run on the trail, but lots more of that. And also going into that evening and even into the next day, refueling, rehydrating and having electrolytes has been good. So I've been drinking a lot of Powerade, not sponsor, but I've been using it. It's been working really well for me. In terms of nutrition, I want to eat something fairly soon, like I'll often eat something fairly light just before I go out, like a banana. And when I get home, I want to do the same thing. I find that I can't get a full meal down for a while after a hard long run. I won't be able to stomach it until my body has cooled itself down and I'm ready to eat. So that will come. I will get really hungry, but not immediately after. But it's important to start your body doing the recovery process, healing, to get food in. So I go generally a piece of fruit, and then I'll also have a protein shake. And I found that's really has been helping, and I've been able to reduce my recovery time just due to doing that. There's also, you know, water in there, so that helps with the hydration. So I will, over the first half an hour, have, you know, a few cups of electrolyte drink as well as a protein shake. And then I'll have showered. Once I've done that, I will be ready to do the compression part. So I have been spending a lot of time in my skins, my compression tights, during this marathon training season. So the day that I run, I will wear them afterwards, and I'll wear them the rest of the day, pretty well until I go to bed. And then generally I'm also wearing them the day after a long run as well. So I'll just wear them under my trousers, I'll wear them to work or wherever it is I'm going, whatever I'm doing. And I'm finding that that is helping a lot with the soreness. Like even sometimes, like I was getting a little bit of tenderness in my LDLs, so the, you know, one of the bands of the knee on both sides. But after having a day in the compression tights, that was absolutely fine and we were back to normal. So it's really, really working for me, and I am, finding that I'm able to reduce my recovery time significantly due to using them. And they're kind of the big things that I'm focusing on to enhance recovery and reduce recovery time down. Like even now I'm filming this the day after I run a half marathon distance, and I may go for a short recovery run later tonight, but like I'm feeling good. So making sure that I have put the right stuff into my body, making sure that I'm well hydrated, making sure that I have got the nutrition that I need, lots of protein directly following a run. The carbs and things come later when I get into my first big meal, but lots of protein to start with. And compression, really doing a lot of good work for me. So that's something that I've picked up from my last season that I've found a lot of success with throughout this marathon season, and something that I'm certainly going to take into the future. So after a run, in the first hour, hour and a half, hydration, nutrition, compression, and then making sure I get a good night's sleep, which I haven't slept enough this season. That's something that I've always struggled with. I just struggle to get to bed on time, and then you can get up early for work and stuff. It's a challenge, but we'll work on that. It's been a great week of running otherwise for me. I didn't get as many runs in as I was hoping, but I did kind of two lengthy ones. So I did a 30-kilometer run, and then I ended up doing 21 kilometers on the treadmill. I had Pirates of the Caribbean, the movie on the iPad to help me get through it, which was helpful because treadmill running's not very exciting. I didn't even install a fan. I got really, really hot, as you do when you're running with no breeze. But that was good for the pacing. Yeah, I've been thinking about my time and my goal, and I'm thinking that 4 hours is doable. It's going to be work, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks I can have a good couple of tapering weeks. I'm going to keep the mileage fairly high this next week, and then even the week after that I'm going to be pretty business as usual, just shortening my long runs and making sure that I'm well rested. So it's not been a huge mileage season anyway. Like my biggest week was about 60 Ks, which is lower than my previous seasons. Just found it a bit tricky, but legs are feeling great. I'm in good fitness, and I'm feeling good about this marathon. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check Tim's video out on Thursday. I'm excited to see it. Take care, and we'll see you next time.